السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أبلغكم رسالات ربي وأنصح لكم وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. We are going to conclude today the discussion that we started earlier on the topic of importance of advice, sincere advice. And it's called in Arabic nasiha. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam in his treatise on rights speaks about this particular issue and this specific right. He says that this relationship is very important relationship between two individuals, one who is seeking advice and the other one who is giving advice. All the prophets, they came to give advice to people, and they would always say, أُبَلِّغُكُمْ رِسَالَاتِ رَبِّي. So there are so many ayat and verses in Quran Kareem in which the prophets address their nations by assuring them that they are nasih for them. Nasih means advisors, good and sincere advisors. Because sometimes you also receive advice from people that they have their own agenda behind that advice that they might giving you. But a sincere advisor is he who gives you advice considering your interest, not his own interest. Because the person who is giving you advice, if he has own interest, personal interest, then of course it's going to be a problem for you, because he is going to give you advice which goes to his benefit, not your benefit. That's why you have to see who is a sincere advisor. So Anbiya, the prophets, they were sincere advisors. Nasihun, I mean, I am for you a sincere advisor and a trustworthy advisor. So when you seek advice of anybody, in any issue in your life, in any topic and subject in your life, first you should see that the person who is giving you advice, of course we discussed this, this issue earlier in several our sermons, and today, since we are concluding them, all those issues that we discussed. So one of the things that you have to see in the advisor, the person who you are going to seek some knowledge, some advice, that he should be knowledgeable. He should know about that particular topic that you are asking him about. So you cannot ask a doctor about any issue which is relevant to engineering, let's say. Or you don't ask an engineer about medical science. So the person you are asking him for any kind of advice, he should be expert in that particular issue in which you are asking him. This is first thing. And this is one of the problems always been in the history of the nations, of the groups, of the communities and individuals. You see, Islam is one religion. Allah is one. And the prophets that he sent have one message from Adam to last prophet. All those who believe in divine message of God and the prophets of God, Quran calls them Ahl Kitab. Those people also have the same message from, they received some, same message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But why you see these differences? The differences is because everybody has somebody to seek advice from. If all of us, all the nations, all human beings, see, let's seek the advice and knowledge from true sources, then there will be no problem, no conflict, no issues, no sects, no groups. So, especially Islam, although Islam, is a word that Quran uses for all prophets, but specifically for those people who believe in last prophet. See, they have more commonalities. But why these problems among them? Why this strong conflict between them? The reason is that the prophet, who was the real source of knowledge and advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anyone who leaves him and goes to someone else, then of course he is going to have a different ideology, a new ideology, which could be different from Prophet's ideology. And this causes grouping, sects, conflict, division. And this was the reason that Quran itself many times mentioned that who you should go for knowledge and for advice in your life here and hereafter both. Both are important. You cannot say that this worldly life is not important, because hereafter also depends on this worldly life, on actions in this life. So this life is very important. So if you seek advice, you make your teacher, your mentor, somebody who is not expert in that particular subject. So of course you're going to go astray from the right path. So Allah said, these are my prophets, seek knowledge from them. And the prophet, before he leaves, he gave us the real source. Inni tarikun fikum al-thaqalain. Look, these are very simple things, brothers. So simple and easy to understand, based on common sense. The prophet, last prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was the messenger of Allah. He is giving the message of God. Nasihun Ameen. Remember, he should be an advisor who is sincere and trustworthy, and he is. Even the kafirs, their enemies, his enemies would call him Ameen, trustworthy, and also Sadiq, truthful. So he has both the qualities plus the quality of knowledge. When you go and ask the prophet something, he will give you the answer. Why? Because يُعَلِّمُهُمُ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him as a teacher. إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ مُعَلِّمًا. I have been sent to mankind as a teacher. This is what the prophet is saying himself. So go to him. Now as a Muslim, of course, we'll go to him. Maybe somebody who is not Muslim will say, why should I go to the prophet? Okay, go to the prophet that you believe him. You believe in Jesus, go to him. You believe in Moses, go to him. You believe in Abraham, go to him. Ask him. Seek his advice, not just for his life. Ask him about after his life. What will happen after you, O Abraham? O Noah, what will happen after you? This verse that I just recited, it is about Noah. Noah is saying, Ya Allah, these people are not listening to me, addressing Allah. But when he is addressing the people, he is saying, Ana lakum nasihun ameen. I am a good advisor for you. Why don't you listen to me? Whatever I am telling you is not for my interest. It is in your interest. So ask him. So if you leave Noah, of course, what will happen? You see the history. The people who did not listen to Nuh, they drowned. This is the truth of history, and at least the divine religions believe in this truth about Nuh, what happened after Nuh. Ibrahim comes. Ask Ibrahim if you believe in him, Ibrahim or Abraham. Not about his life only. What should we do after you? So he will tell you, and he will, of course, refer you to Moses, that after me, there are so many prophets who are going to come, but Moses will be the most famous one. And his prophethood will be for entire globe. And when you talk to Moses, don't ask him about his life only. Ask him what will happen after you. And he will, of course, direct you to the prophets after him. And also he will let you know that Jesus is coming after me, whose message also will be global message. Now, ask Jesus, but not about his life only. About after his life, what will happen after you, O Jesus? Who should we follow? Who is going to guide us after you? So he is going to direct you to the prophets or those godly people who are going to be preachers of his message after him. And also he is going to tell you that وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِنْ بَعْدِ اسْمُهُ أَحْمَدٍ. This is what Quran is saying. That he is giving the glad tidings to people that there will be a great prophet who is coming after me. And even he mentioned his name and said his name is going to be Ahmad. He gave them the name. When Ahmad comes, now ask him, not about his life only. No, of what will happen after you, or the last prophet. Then he will tell you, إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ. I am leaving two things among you, Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Look, it is so simple. Order and consequence, and sequence and hierarchy you can find in what I just explained to you. So when you go to the last prophet, he will direct you to Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Now many people might ask that why then Quran did not mention the names of Ahlul Bayt? Yes, he did mention as a group Ahlul Bayt. The word Ahlul Bayt is there in Quran. Individuals, yes, there are names. And more than names, there are qualities. But this is the same argument, exactly the same thing as the people of book would do, Ahlul Kitab. Quran is saying that Isa has even mentioned the name of Rasulullah. He said, Ismuhu Ahmad. His name will be Ahmad. He mentioned the qualities. يَعْرِفُونَ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءَهُم. Quran mentioned the qualities of Rasul. Not Quran, Bible and Torah mentioned the qualities and characteristics of Rasulullah so clearly that Quran says, يَعْرِفُونَ, that the new prophet, just like they know their children. Do you get confused when you see your child? If he is your child or he's some other boy or, No. You will say, he is my child. You know your child more than anybody else. You recognize him easily as you see him from far away. You say, he is my son. So Quran says they knew the prophet as they knew their children, but is still denied. And asking, what is your name in the Bible? Oh, Ahmed. No, Ahmed is not your name. Your name is Muhammad. So there is no, of course, end to such kind of argument. But originally, we need to see that the person who is giving us the advice, who is he? who we should seek our, not just religion. This is about religion. I'm talking about religion. But a prophet comes for both, to guide us in our worldly life and also to guide us for our hereafter. So the real source, especially for us, for Muslims, after we discuss all those issues, under this topic of advice and importance of advice, an advisor and the seeker of advice, and rights of him and him. Now, the conclusion is this, that the best advice can come from the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody better than Allah will come and give us any advice which is in our benefit. Quran says that there are many times, many things that you don't like. But when you see them, when you suffer something which you don't like, it is good for you. عسى أن تحبوا شيئا عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. Many times this happens that you hate something, but it is good for you. وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم. Sometimes you love something. I like it, I love it, I want it. وهو شر لكم, and it is evil for you. It is not good for you. It is harmful for you. Why? والله أعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. Allah knows and you don't know. At least a believer has no doubt that Allah knows and he doesn't know. As a believer, of course, I will say, Allah knows better than me. Or even if you reflect on this sentence, you as a good believer will say, no, this sentence is also not a good sentence. That he knows better than me. What better means? Better means you are comparing myself to Allah? No, Allah knows. That's why Quran didn't say Allah knows better than you. Wallahu a'lam, Allah knows, wa antum la ta'lamun, and you don't know. No matter how many degrees you have, no matter how studies you have, how much you have knowledge, still Allah knows, you don't know. Allah knows, you don't know. When we don't know, so we don't know our interests, we don't know our, what is good for us. We have no idea. The only thing we can do, we can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, give us some wisdom, give us, and the wisdom is the best thing you can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wisdom is the best thing. If you have a chance to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something, and you have chance to ask only one thing, of course there are no limits for asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but if you have the chance to ask one thing, ask Him for wisdom, knowledge. Quran says, وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever is given wisdom, he is given goodness in abundance. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for wisdom. Ya Allah, you know, we don't know. Now about what? You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What things? I just said that when you're asking someone, you're seeking advice of somebody, first you should see that if he has the knowledge of that particular issue about which you are asking him, is he expert of that thing? So you should see, who is he? Does he has the knowledge? Now when you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you don't have to ask if he knows, astaghfirullah. Of course he knows. Anything you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, but Allah doesn't come to give you advice directly. Can He come? He's coming to you? No. So He gives us advice through His prophets. So the source of Allah is who? His prophet, His messenger. Now, if we have no approach to the prophet directly, and we have questions, where should we go? Go Ask Prophet himself. He will say, go to him. So why he didn't say the name? Why didn't he say directly, okay, if I'm not there, go to Ali ibn Abi Talib? Yes, he said many times, but you might say, no, he didn't say it clearly. Okay, how more clear he can say it? When you're seeking advice and knowledge and guidance from whom? From Allah. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Ask Allah, oh Allah, guide us. So seeking guidance from Allah, Allah says, okay, I will give you guidance. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. This is the Prophet is the one through whom you seek my guidance. I will give you guidance through my Prophet. Okay, Prophet, give us guidance. Now you're expecting that he will say, go to Ali directly. He said many times, but now look how he said it. This is the best way, best analogy can be given ever for such meaning. The Prophet said, okay, Ya Rasulullah, O Prophet of Allah, we want you to guide us. Give us some knowledge. So it can benefit us in this world and hereafter. Said, yes, you want knowledge from me? أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها. I am the city of knowledge. City of knowledge, not house of knowledge. In the house you have limited stuff at your house. And city, you have anything a human being, ever can need. So this is why he didn't say house of knowledge. I am the city of knowledge. Anything you know, anything you need is there in the city. When it is in the city, I'm the city of knowledge. Okay, very good. So give us some knowledge, Ya Rasulullah. Aliyun babuha. The gateway is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Now you say, no, he didn't say clearly. How more clear he should say? Is not clear? This is the best way he could say it. Aliyun babu. Ali is the gate for this. So now, how can we seek the advice from Ali? Because Ali's knowledge is Rasul's knowledge, Rasul's knowledge is Allah's knowledge. We go and say, Ya Ali, give us some knowledge. You will receive knowledge from Ali. If you don't have direct approach to Imam Ali, of course, his sons. You don't have direct approach to him, his sons. The people who took knowledge from him, then from him. So source should be Ali. Source should end to Ali, from Ali to Rasulullah to Allah. This should be the real source. So look how simple it became now. For any Muslim especially, I'm talking to the Muslims especially, how easy is now to understand that who you should seek the knowledge from and the guidance from. It's so simple that see chain of narrators. Anything today you have after 1400 years, you should prove it that, okay, it is from Rasulullah, so you have from him. Is this ending to the gate of knowledge? If not, don't accept it. Accept any knowledge, which is any guidance, which going back to, after this chain of narrators, to Ali, to Rasul, to Allah. And that's why when our Imams from the descendants of Imam Ali alayhi salam would speak about any saying of Rasulullah, people called it silsilatul dhahab. This is a golden chain. When Imam Rava alayhi salam in Nishapur, people asked him to narrate a hadith from his grandfather, from Rasulullah. We want to hear from you. He said, okay, listen from me. He said, I heard it from whom? From my father. Imam Musa Kadhim. He heard it from his father, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. He heard it from his father, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir. He heard it from his father, Imam Zain al-Abidin. He heard it from his father, Imam Husaini. He heard it from his brother and his father, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. He had it from Rasulullah, and he had it from Jibreel, and he had it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was the chain directly going. So no one in this chain, you find anybody whose truthfulness is doubtful. The clean, infallible chain. That's why everybody, after hearing this hadith in the history, it is in the history. They called this hadith, they called this narration, called it a narration with golden chain. Golden chain means pure chain. So why, when we have this pure chain, why should we go to impure chain? When we have gold, why we go to something else? So this is the conclusion of what we have discussed about seeking advice. The same, comes in our daily life. Daily life. You seek advice of the people who have knowledge and who are sincere, and who should give you the advice for your interest. Then, of course, this is the relationship should we have always. At home also, you give your children advice, your children will seek from you advice, you seek from your alim advice, your alim seek from marja advice, marja seeks from imam advice. There is a chain. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in our knowledge and wisdom. And may Allah guide us to the right path, the path of those upon whom He has bestowed His favors, and they are Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. إن أحسن الحديث وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.